I got lost myself into this path as well, but
yeah.
I found myself and be like, no, I'm going my own way. If you get the chance to really find the thing that drives you and find inspiration, and you get to communicate this inspiration around you and find inspiration around you, that's what's take you far and reconnect you to your purpose and what you mean to be.
Let's go.
Nike's on the feet, make my love complete. Nike's on the feet, make my love complete. Nike's on the feet.
Daniel.
My name's Mohammed. How are you?
My name is Amandine.
Awesome.
What do you want, man?
What do you mean, sorry?
Percentage, not like drugs.
Oh, one. Yeah, I didn't get 1%. But I live close, so it's all good.
Oh, good. All right, man. Thanks for joining. This is Squat Podcast.
Yeah.
Welcome. My name is Ivan.
I'm Tarek, and what's your name?
Daniel. Nice to meet you guys.
All right, Daniel. Today the topic is
Do you like your
do
job?
you like your job? Do you
Yeah.
like your job?
Do I like my job? I like my job. I think I went through a period of not liking my job. I think I'm going to attribute that to working from home. Obviously, it's a great shift in like the working culture. I think it's a great option to have. You know, opens up remote work, opens up, people working from, remote work. That's what it is.
Are you tickling? You're tickling our balls there, man. What do you do?
Are you a banker?
I work for NAB.
Work for
Yeah,
NAB.
I work for NAB's online bank, Ubank.
Oh, cool.
So it's a bit chiller.
I have a Ubank account. Shout out.
You do? Shout out. Yeah, shout out. Good interest rate.
Yeah, it's decent.
What made you want to get into financial services?
So I study economics and applied finance. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But no, I think getting stuck in that working from home culture sort of took away the social aspect of my job. We're a pretty young office. It's really a nice tight group of people. And it's interesting. So I'm in like sort of customer service based. It's all online.
Okay.
Call center type vibe.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I love my job. I love the people. I love the vibe. I like helping people. I see it as problem solving.
Are you
Obviously-
working from home right now?
No, so I've been in
At
for
all?
about a month straight because
Okay.
I'm training a new group.
So you're coming in every single day, and you love it.
I love it. Yeah, I come in every day. I prefer it. I think working from home, I got stuck. I think I worked from home about 100 days straight, which is
Wow.
not allowed. But yeah, I much prefer coming in.
What were some of the downsides for you from working from home? How'd you start to feel after 100 days?
Well, I mean, like I study from home,
Okay.
I work from home, and then like that's my downtime room as well. So like just that convolution of all that space, like you need the separation. So
for
I don't know,
sure.
I kind of just like blurred the lines between it, and everything became a burden.
It's pretty interesting that you enjoy coming to work, especially every single day, because
I have to add, I live really close. I live in Renford,
Oh, okay.
so it's like 15, 10 minutes.
Almost the same thing. Yeah.
transportation isn't an issue for you.
Exactly. So I'm pretty lucky. I'm lucky to say I live 10 minutes away. I have people who live like in my team who live in like Leppington or like Livo or like really far. So that's a privilege I have to come in.
As a consequence of the new flexible working arrangements, a lot of people working from home, they'll come to the office a few days a week. What do you think about the concept of quiet quitting that's come up in the past few months? Have you heard of it at all?
I haven't heard
Or
of
like
it
the
at
Great
all.
Resignation that was happening over COVID and even
I heard
living
that.
now. Similar concepts.
I'm
Yeah.
not too informed on the new thing that you said there.
So essentially quiet quitting is where, because I guess you're working from home a little bit more often, you're more inclined to, I guess, be a little bit lazy, not take your job as seriously because it's not worth it. Bosses won't really know whether you're doing your work or not. They don't have that same level of visibility over your work. And quiet quitting is essentially the concept of you just earn your paycheck, you do the bare minimum, and then you go home because
There's no point to it all,
it's
really.
it's not worth it.
Bit of a nihilistic kind of
What's your
view.
thoughts on that?
Well, yeah, very nihilistic as you said. Unfortunately, in my field, everything is very tracked. So like your statuses and stuff.
Yeah.
So you can't really get away with it as much. I think that just goes into what I was saying, how the social side of work and the aspect, like everything from getting up and knowing what you're doing is not like a purpose, but that drive of this is what I'm doing today, so I'm going to see, this is what I'm going to do, is removed.
Yeah.
Yes, it's more accessible to work at your house. Yes, it's maybe lucky some days if you're sick, or like not sick, but like sort of sick or like injured or whatever. I can see why that would happen. That's just human, like, what's the word?
Human nature.
Human nature, thank you. Yeah, to like
Great
try to
bands as well.
exploit it and make it more, enjoyable for yourself.
Did you say you have a team?
No, I don't have a team, so I'm not like a leader or anything, but like we are broken into teams.
Oh, okay.
You're
Yeah.
training the new guys coming in.
Yeah.
So, we mentioned the Great Resignation. You did hear of that one. Why do you think that occurred? Like, so many people wanted to quit their
Well,
jobs.
I mean, when you're then thrown into like the pandemic, as we all were, all of your structures that you thought, all your systems that you had established are broken. And then you get time to really view what you're doing, what you're putting your time towards and your energy towards.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people just realize like there's a shifting workforce. I can work remote if I want to. It really benefits them. I don't even need to do this job. I can do whatever job I want remote. I can learn these skills outside of an institution. I can learn them online and then apply myself elsewhere. I think it was just sort of like a change in people's perspectives because they were kind of taken away from their routines.
Could also be that, during that time, during COVID, people were handing out, big salaries everywhere, especially in the tech sort of field. And people were definitely capitalizing on that. And now we're seeing the opposite effect, which is a lot of people, maybe very famously, like from Google, have been fired. So a lot of layoffs, thousands upon thousands.
Twitter stuff.
Twitter with Elon Musk and all that. So huge tech layoffs. So it's kind of boom and bust. People come in, people come out. So people get really attached to their jobs, and that's what I want to talk about a little bit about, like their identity. So people, you tend to ask someone, tell me about yourself, and they say, oh, my name, my age, and they just go talk about their job, right?
Yeah.
So, people don't often talk about, what really makes them who they are, because, I guess for some people the job is who they are, but for others, it's not. So my question to you is, tell me about yourself without telling me about your job.
Okay. Well, I'm a sport fanatic. I don't know about you guys, but LeBron just became the all-time leading scorer. I saw Shout out the GOAT, man, for real.
You got assists, high assists the other week as well.
Yeah, I think they sort of like estimated he'll finish like around 4th in assists and first all-time in scoring. The guy's the GOAT. Crown him. So I like to keep myself involved in sports, NFL, NBA, EPL. I play football myself. I'm going to kick around.
Which kind of football you play?
What position?
I play like a 10, like so cam or like on the wing.
Yeah, my guy, me too. I play cam as well.
I play left back because I'm not very good.
No, that's all right, bro. Fullbacks are important. Changing game. A game. I don't know. I'm a pretty typical guy, I would say. A game. I play sport. Really social. I like to go out with my friends. So I moved down from the Central Coast about a year and a half now.
That's why you're so chill.
Yeah. I don't know. People are like, I could tell you didn't grow up in Sydney.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't speak for all Sydney-siders, but
you're not like setting up podcasts in the middle of the street and stuff. So.
Put it this way, you're the first one to come and chat to us, so there's something calm and chill about you. Everybody else is.
So I was like, I want to be a part of it. I don't know, like wherever you post this, I'll probably not see it. What do you? I'll get you.
Yeah,
Instagram and YouTube.
My phone might die before then, but I'll make sure to look it up.
But yeah, to Ivan's point, like when people always talk about who they are, work and their profession is a big part of it. But listening to you talk about why you like your job, I like that you went kind of straight away to you like helping people, you like the social aspect to it. It kind of connects to you intrinsically. Have you heard of the concept of some people at work are motivated by intrinsic aspects, probably more like yourself, and as other people can be motivated by external kind of factors like just money?
It's conversation, no money involved, just talking.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm not being held hostage or anything. I'm not held hostage or anything.
So having a conversation. Yeah.
Chatting.
All right.
Weird. I don't see what we're doing wrong,
She's
to be
probably
honest.
from Sydney. Definitely from Sydney.
She's not from the Sunny Coast, mate.
I kind of forgot your question. The intrinsic versus external factors?
Yeah, essentially some people will be motivated, like you say, the fact that you're helping someone, the fact that there's a social aspect to it, you're chatting with your friends. Other people just want to work because money, status, etc.
You can hate the system, but you have to participate in the system,
Exactly
unfortunately.
right.
And I think that's what it boils down to, is that you have to trade how many hours of your day for your wage, crummy system, whatever.
So if you had infinite money, what would you be doing?
Oh man, I posed this question. So I done a hire group before this, and some guy was telling me, like, if I had my needs met, I would just do the same thing. And I was like, really? Like, you wouldn't delve into your interests or like your hobbies or whatever? So if all my needs are met and I had infinite free time, I think I would read a lot more. I would just like continue my studies, but I wouldn't be so broad. I wouldn't be so narrow into like, oh, I want to get a job in this field. I'd try to like just generalize my understanding of the world. I would sleep in every day. I think I'd sleep in. I'd just relax, because you just have the pressure taken off you of like having to make ends meet.
I agree. Like the joy of learning, just like reading or like listening to audio books and then going about your day and then chatting to people like later in the day about what you've learned. It's a simple pleasure, and it's not really directed at anything focused, but it's kind of, I don't know, a basic human thing. Like we want to learn, we want to,
Conquest of knowledge. Exactly. Like we just got here. I don't really know much about the past. Like I did history. I found that was my most interesting subject of school, because it was like all these things happened before your time and they influence today's day, and it's going to continue to influence today's day. And things are happening right now that will influence the future. It's like you got to be aware, you got to be continuously learning, and I find that really intriguing.
100%. With AI as well, people are quite scared about losing their jobs in the future, but I think if AI comes
People
to
working
that,
in call centers? No.
No.
if
For
AI
real.
gets to that point where it can be really, really good, where it takes away, I guess, all the menial jobs, then we're going to be left kind of doing what we'd be doing if we had infinite money, like doing
Well,
creative stuff.
Do you think that people who will control the means of those AI and those workers will then give the people who will replace that right, or will they just be sacked off?
I think there's always going to be new jobs invented, as there was in the past. You know, when we came up with the steam engine and the computer, you know, maybe the guy who was on the typewriter lost his job, but there's, you know, a million other jobs spawned from there. So
Yeah.
we can't know what we don't know.
Yeah,
but
innovation will always happen.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm looking forward to the future in that sense, because a lot of people have that fear, but I think it will be all right. We'll do stuff like what you would be doing if you had infinite money.
I'll ask one more question before we wrap it up. To anyone out there that maybe isn't enjoying their job, because it's pretty cool that you like what you're doing.
Yeah, I think I'm lucky to say that.
What's one piece of advice you give to all the people who maybe don't enjoy what they're doing every day?
One piece of advice: take yourself out of your routine, get some perspective from the people around you, the people whose opinion matter to you, and don't be afraid to make a change. Like, throw yourself in the deep end, take risks. You have to fail to find some success. You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, I'll leave it on that.
All right, perfect.
Wow.
Really appreciate it, man. That was a sick interview. Really appreciate it, bro.
Thanks for joining us. Anyways, this is Papa Squat Podcast, brother. Welcome. My name is Ivan. This is
Tarek.
What's your name?
Tarek, my name's Mohammed. How are you?
Nice to meet you,
man,
brother.
Nice to meet you, man. So you just told us off camera you got a new job. What is your new job? And do you like it?
Yeah, I'm working with a company called Capital Group. It's pretty much a dream job for me. I've always loved property. They're a property development company.
Oh, awesome.
Awesome group of people. So yeah, very excited to be there.
What did you do before that?
I was working in marketing actually. Marketing, and I did some of my own property stuff on the
Yeah,
side
yeah.
as well.
You
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
sales side in property at the new job?
At the moment, I'm just doing a lot of the running around, doing researching, contracting
right.
and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. So yeah, just really starting at an entry space. Yeah.
First week or?
Nah, not first week. About first month. I've
First
just
month.
finished my
Okay,
first month.
okay.
Yeah,
What got you into that job? Why is it a dream for you?
yeah. I think every ethnic loves property.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Every ethnic loves property. I've always done my own stuff, and I just wanted to kind of align my passion for property with what I do every day. So
That's awesome.
yeah.
So it's been a month. Did you have a strategy those first few weeks? Obviously, new colleagues, new faces. Like, how did you think about how you're going to make friends, make those new connections at work? Kind of.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about how I'm going to make friends. I'm
Yep.
pretty good at making friends, I think. I consider you guys friends now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mohammed.
My main strategy is just always my strategy, just more and more and more activity. So just working maybe 12, 14 hours,
Really?
sleeping nothing.
Hey, brother, it's 6:30 and you're on the way home. So.
I'm on the way home to continue work at home.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
well, there you
yeah.
go.
I did some on the train with a
I
hotspot.
do it on the train. I do it in the morning. I'm up at 4:50. So
No.
yeah,
Are you tired?
I get tired sometimes, but I'm pretty good. My body's used to it now. So
you
In
think
my
it-
previous job, I was working very hard as well.
You think it's worth it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Why do you think it's worth it?
well, probably when I'm like 40 to 45, I think that's when it'll be worth it.
You want to retire?
Early retirement.
Yeah,
Awesome.
exactly right. Yeah.
What are you going to do in retirement when you're 40 or 45?
Well, there's a lot I want to do in terms of giving back. So it's probably a development company. I'm not going to go into the whole shebang, but there's some developments that I want to do in lower socioeconomic areas
Yeah.
to kind of bring up the areas. On a personal front, I've traveled before. I'd love to do that again with my wife, and then just spend time with kids, and then just basically spend time working with the community and stuff like that.
So you're still going to be working, just not in the capacity that with so much pressure to earn money.
Yeah, correct. Exactly.
Because a lot of people, they say, once you retire, it's, you're on the fast track to death, because they've got nothing to do in their life and they're just sitting around drinking drinks or lazing about. So I think like everyone needs something in their life, whether it's, working with charities or, you're always going to be working. Whether there's money involved or not, that's another question.
The purpose of life is to have a purpose, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
Purpose of life is, you got to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Right? There's no meaning to life. You got to create your own
What's
meaning.
your purpose? Tell me about your job. What do you guys do?
Well, this is not our job. This pays very poorly. $0 currently.
At the moment.
Yeah.
At the moment.
That's all right.
We both work in the product space, like in tech, in different companies. I do like experimentation, coming up with ideas, and
Yeah, similar thing. We both work in product, both out of fintech, so financial services essentially,
yeah.
and building software from a functional perspective.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
you guys developers mainly?
well,
I work with
we
developers.
work with
yeah.
developers.
So
yeah.
more like the ideas guy, kind of make
Yeah.
them come to life and do some data analytics, work
Yeah,
out where
yeah.
you need to implement some new change or something like that.
Yeah. Very
Yeah.
nice. Very nice.
Definitely enjoy it. I think you talking about how your purpose is quite closely connected to what you're doing now.
Yeah.
I think what we're doing right now,
Yeah.
interviewing people, is maybe a little bit more connected to our purpose,
Which is?
which is
Entertainment.
entertainment. I would say entertainment. Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice.
You know, putting ourselves out there, creating content, and seeing where it goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people, though, you said this is your passion, doing what you're doing now, and a lot of people they think if they were doing their passion, they'll be really happy, compared to their 9-to-5 job. Maybe it's quite mundane.
Yeah.
But what tends to happen is that when people turn their passions into their job, they end up hating their passion because it's what's there between you and food on your table. So the fun kind of goes away. But how do you think that's true, and how did you manage to avoid such a thing?
Well, it's only new for me kind of working it in my passion, but
Yeah.
I mean, even the smallest things like going into the car park, not in this job, but I've been out on sites and construction sites. I'm smiling from ear to ear, so I don't think that'll happen for me here. But I know what you're talking about. I have, one of my cousins who's very good with cars, loves cars, opened a workshop and hated it. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah, I think it was more of a business partner type thing, but
Okay.
yeah, you can definitely have that happen. He loves working on cars. He does it all the time. That's what he spends all his time on. But when it became work, it became annoying. So
Because 80% of the job is not doing the thing you actually like. It's all the work in the background. Right?
yeah, well, you don't have to love what you're doing to love what you're doing, right? So I have a end goal in mind. So regardless of whatever I'm doing, if it's mundane, if it's the thing that I love, it's all in that direction. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it all.
Would you say you're intrinsically motivated? So the work you do brings some sort of feeling inside you, which brings you satisfaction? Or would you say it's more external, which is I work to, let's say, earn enough money to retire at X age later on in life? Like, what's
I think they're linked
Yep.
because I basically program my brain every day to have that emotional response.
yeah, right.
Basically, like, do affirmations and I feel what it will be like I visualize it and then I feel it every single day. And then, I can get away with I had 1 hour sleep, literally no joke, the
Yeah.
day before this, literally 1 hour sleep. I was just working all night. That's not every day, but I'll pretty consistently get like 4 to 5 hours sleep. And I've almost programmed myself to be like a slave to it. Like I can't, if I try not to do something, I'll wake up to do it. Like
Yeah.
You enjoy the
You're
pain a
fixed
little
in.
bit as well.
I don't enjoy the pain, but I've almost programmed myself.
Well, you're connected to your purpose. Everything's synced up. Even though there may not be as many hours of sleep, you feel like you understand everything, and mind, body, and soul is all working together.
Yeah, as long as you eat healthy, you do your
Yeah.
exercise, your body can keep going.
Yeah.
Probably, I wouldn't recommend no sleep. It's not great.
And you still find time to go to the gym? Look like you gym?
I work out. I compress.
Busting out through the seams here.
I compress my workouts. It's a 3 days worth of workout compressed into 1 day on a Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What does that look
Do it
like?
over the
Push-pull
day,
legs?
or
It's not a lot of time. I've been working out for a long time, probably like 10 years. So
maintaining what you have? Right?
I'm maintaining, but it's more, I know exactly what I need to do in a very short period of time
Yeah.
to get what I need.
Dude, that sounds really hard.
Man's efficient. Yeah.
I was going to say
I'm impressed.
also, so have you heard in the last couple of years there's been, the great resignation that's been happening. A lot of people quit their jobs, and there's also this concept of quiet quitting where people are not really working very hard. They're just kind of doing the bare minimum at their job. So you're not exactly quitting, but
Drifters.
you're kind of drifting about, not really. There's a bit of a nihilistic kind of feel about it. So why do you think both those phenomenons have happened, and why
Where are we
has it
headed?
happened? Where are we headed?
Yeah.
I have no idea. In terms of the Great Resignation, I remember reading about it and thinking about it. I think a lot of the people are maybe just working to work, and that maybe they don't have a goal or a direction, and so they hate what they're doing, or I don't know. It's like maybe when I was working when I was 15 at Coles or something like that. It's not really, you're not really thinking about anything other than the fact that you're physically there doing work, and so
There's no greater purpose there.
yeah, there's no greater purpose basically. If you don't have a greater purpose, then obviously if things get tough, if somebody annoys you, upsets you, that might be what you would do. Also, I think the supply demand in the workforce is kind of out of whack, where the employees are almost more in demand and have the power, and so they can jump around. There's companies offering crazy benefits, more money all the time, and so the power balance has changed a little bit to enable people to do that as well.
I think it's a good analogy, because the concept of being 15 years old and working at Coles, like I can remember those kind of jobs, and you just dread going to the shift, then you're at the shift, and then once the shift is over, you're so thankful that it's over.
Just waiting for time to pass.
But maybe people, as they get older, they just keep that same mindset with work, and they've never, like as you say, maybe just written down on a piece of paper what they want to achieve or what they're looking to do with their lives, and they go into that drifter.
Imagine you working at Coles and you're like, what do I want to achieve working at Coles? What are my dreams? I want to be so efficient at stacking boxes.
Shout out to the Coles workers, by the way.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to find motivation in everything you do. I used to work at Woolies when I was younger. I fucking loved it, bro. I loved it. So much intrinsic motivation there. I was going to say, I guess to wrap up, you seem like someone, you have your shit together a little bit. So if you're going to give advice to the people out there, maybe younger than yourself, what would you do? Say they're struggling to find motivation, what they do. What would you do to kind of counter that?
People lacking direction in their career.
Lacking direction.
I don't know about lacking motivation or lacking direction, but I can give some advice to younger people for sure.
Yeah.
Just from personal experience. The biggest thing that you should do is pick something and stick with it. I've been working hard for a long time, and probably the bane of my existence is the fact that it took me so long to find what I'm finally enjoy doing. I always knew what I enjoyed doing, but it was always thinking more so like, what's the best business idea, or what's the best industry, or what's the best this, or what's the best that.
That's not picking something and sticking with it. You made a change, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I'm saying that I worked so long, and had I picked something and stuck with it, say 10 years ago, for example,
the right thing in the first place.
The right thing in the first place, and sticking with it, obviously I'd be a lot further along than my first month doing whatever. I'm happy I finally found what I'm doing, and I'm very, very confident about that. But if you can search earlier rather than later, and then find it, and then that's probably the best thing that you can do.
You never know, maybe the things that you learned in your marketing career got you to where you are today. Maybe you wouldn't have got to that same spot. You learn so many different things, there are different skills, met different people.
Yeah, there's definitely an argument for, everything leads you in a particular direction that, gets you to where you end up being. But if you can just think about it more when you're younger, try it, a little bit when you're younger, it'll just help you. Because obviously, like, when you're younger, and I'm dealing with this now, my wife, got a kid coming, I'm always going to continue to work hard, but it does become more difficult when you have more responsibilities. And then obviously, it's just difficult when you get older to do that sort of stuff. So if you can figure it out when you're younger, and then just realize that nothing's perfect, everything has its, things that are good about it or not good about it. But if you pick something and you stick with it, and you work hard, you'll definitely be successful at that.
What do you do if you don't know what you like, if you're a young kid?
Here's the thing. So you hear all the motivational guys tell you all the time, right? They're like, just do what you love, do what you're passionate about, all this sort of stuff. I ignored the advice for a long time, and probably at the start of last year, I was like, okay, I need just turned 30. I need to really, knuckle down what I'm doing, right? And I had a couple of things being tossed up in the air, and property wasn't necessarily the best industry or return. It's a great industry. It wasn't the best industry or return compared to some of the other stuff I was looking at, but I was like, you know what, let me just listen to these super successful people that tell you to do what you love and what you're passionate about, and I did that, and the feeling is very different from things I've done in the past, in terms of my fulfillment in terms of going to work.
It certainly shows,
Gary V was right, man.
Yeah.
Gary V, Warren Buffett, everyone, they're all right.
Awesome, man.
Thank you for joining us,
really
bro.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All the best with what you're doing, man. It's really cool.
Get some sleep.
Yeah. Sunday is my sleep day.
And working out day.
Yeah.
All right, cheers, bro. Thank you.
See you, man.
Really appreciate it. Get them safe.
Thank you.
We're on the Squat Podcast right now, and today's topic is, do you like your job? So we'll start off with, what do you do for work?
So what's your name again?
Okay.
Oh, and what was your name?
Sure. My name is Amandine, and I'm a wine expert.
Wow.
Sommelier or wine?
Sommelier.
Sommelier. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, absolutely love my job. I love touring. I love telling stories. I love bringing people together. This is what, like, when you look at the wine industry and alcohol industry in general, this is a place where you look at a lot of toxicity, and that bring the worst out of people. But when you get to understand the story behind the label, and you get this story to connect to you, you get to see and understand what's behind.
Yeah.
And further than the alcohol and getting wasted and have good time and party, you have the deeper meaning behind, and that's what bring like people together and the community together, and that what make the difference and inspire people to like just do better and write better story
And the
and consume better
gastronomical
things.
pairing and all that.
Totally.
Yeah.
And it's not about overly consuming. It's more about consuming knowing what you consume, and have a better approach towards it, and try to make the difference. Because if you just go over the limit, obviously everything is good to a certain dose, but when you pass this dose, then there's a different story.
Of course, yeah.
That's really cool. So your actual job, do you work 9 to 5 hours or?
No, sometimes I will actually do 10 to 10. So it's like you have a lot of work a lot of hours to do in the hospitality in general.
Are you working inside restaurants mainly? Or?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually the sommelier of a company that has 3 restaurants.
Oh,
So yeah, a lot of responsibility and a lot of hours. But when you get the chance to actually balance out everything, you still get to find the chance to.
you mentioned you like talking about the history and the story behind the wine and the grapes and where they came from. Do you find that a lot easier with these, natural wines? They've been coming out. There's a bit more of a story there, independent growers and all this sort of thing, or?
I really love this, definitely, in the way that going to a natural approach is like what our grandparents were used to do, like before the chemical was coming out into the story. So if you're going back to the roots and you're really taking care of the soil and everything that surrounds you, then the land will give you the best product. And from this, you just go onwards. So I think for me, like all this organic and natural wine are definitely maybe a fashion.
Yes, like a trend, yeah.
Totally, and I think like in every kind of industry, you always have some trends in some ways. So it's good. It brings a lot of people to wine and get to like be curious and see what's up in this industry. But I mean, to me, there is some great things happening in natural wine industry, but like in any kind of like natural or not natural, there will be some incredible wine and there will be a lot of craps as well. So it's hard also to like dive into it and find exactly the product that you're looking for.
It's really cool. You clearly know a lot about wine. How long have you been doing this? Or how long have you been in the wine industry?
How'd you get into it in the first place? You from Burgundy or something? Like
Bordeaux.
Bordeaux? They do wine there too?
They do. It's a bit of a cliche. So I come from an area, it's like a small village, so grew up in the countryside. My both grandfather used to have a vineyard. One of them used to have like very few vines and used to make wine for the family and friends.
Yeah.
And the other, same thing, but bigger land, and so get to sell the wine around. I've never been really attached to wine. I never liked wine until I was 18 years old or something like this.
Good age to get into it.
I know, right? But in France, actually,
They
in
started
Europe,
like 14 or something.
I'm way younger, actually. I'm very guilty. I had my brother like maybe 3-4 years old, and we were in the Christmas table and just like put my finger in it and put that in his mouth just to try, And he's in the culture. My parents have done that to me, and this is just it's not bringing back. Like bring them into alcohol, not at all. It's more like getting a taste, like getting to share this moment and be
Learning.
like, this is where we come from. Exactly.
It's not connected to binge drinking culture, which is very, very big in Australia.
It's like as soon as you get an understanding of what you're drinking, you're getting more respect, and you're treating the product in a very different level. Exactly. And I think this is what's missing in the industry.
Have you heard of goon bags?
Obviously.
Can you tell me the history of the goon bag and where it came from?
I don't know where he come from, but I definitely remember those sessions where I was going with my friends when I was like 15, 16, 17, mixing wine and juice and anything that you really find and go out and party. Yeah, I remember the headaches.
It gets the job done.
Yeah, especially the hangover. Not recommend.
Now that you're a bit older, you grew up a little bit. So,
Yeah, I get a bit of maturity on the story, and I'm like, yeah, forget about the goon and go straight away for good quality.
Yeah. So you have a really cool job. I think it's very creative, and you get to work
you.
in an interesting industry, and you get to taste things and using all your senses. But not everyone is as lucky as you.
True.
Not everyone has such an interesting job. So I'm
A
sure
lot of sad people coming down the escalator.
coming down these escalators as well.
It's very crazy. Sometimes I'm like, obviously Wynyard station is such a busy station, and sometimes I'm going to work when everyone goes out, and I'm seeing this mass of human beings coming toward me, and I'm like, wow, I just feel like it's a zombie attack or something.
Yeah.
It's a bit scary.
All on their phone,
sometimes.
looking down.
I know.
No one wants to interact with each other, earphones in. It's
Why do you
it's
think?
sad.
Why do you think there are so many unhappy people with their job?
I don't think I don't think they're really unhappy about their jobs and themselves. It's just more they're losing the connection and the purpose, just the basic, the connection to themselves. And that's the very beginning. And from this, if there is something that you see that doesn't work out around, I mean, in every relationship, there is some compromise, and you're working, you're working towards the better, greater thing for everyone.
Yeah.
But yeah, as soon as someone just start to take advantage or you start to get nasty, that makes just
You lose the balance.
yeah, you're losing everything for sure. Yeah.
Same with the job, right? That's what you're saying.
Totally.
okay.
And I think it's like
Your
just
life.
people are just lost into the same loop and forget what the essence of life is. Like just trying to do better every day, just being better person, and have, even if you don't have like millions in your bank account and you don't get to travel and sip cocktail on the crazy beach, doesn't matter. Like getting the chance to see the magic in every day and make a difference is
In the little things. It's important. Yeah. I
There's
think
beauty everywhere.
you also have quite a creative job, because just listening to you tell stories about wine on the podcast, I can imagine how in detail you would go while you're actually explaining the brands of the wine and the different types of wine. It's clearly a very creative job. Do you think you could ever do a role, let's say, in an office and you're an accountant? Do you think you could find the joy in that role still? Do you think you'd be able to manage it, or it would be impossible for you?
It's impossible. I've been working in this industry for 18 years, and I've been working 18 years on my feet, just thinking about stopping. And I have to stop being in front of the computer, building wine lists, building staff training and everything. So I have to do that. But this is the most difficult part of my job, I think.
Standing up.
No,
Sitting
Sitting at the
down
desk.
is the best.
At the computer.
Yeah.
Okay, I got to
Yeah.
totally mix there. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, that's. I don't think I would be able to just sit in front of computer 9 to 5. No,
Wow.
not for me.
So, what do you think? What is your advice for people that they're stuck in something they don't exactly want to be doing, but what should they do? Because I guess not everyone can become a sommelier. Not everyone, but maybe they can find their own thing. I don't know.
Totally. And I think this is very important. I got the chance to find early what I was meant to be and speak my own voice and not be scared of speaking it. I think really people have been formatted throughout the life and be like, okay, this is what the society needs you to be, so you will do that. And we get lost into these things. I got lost myself into this path as well, but I found myself and be like, no, I'm going my own way. But I think it's just people help finding a way to go back to themselves, to their own voice and what drives them and inspire them, and try to aim for that, because at the end, just doing the same thing all over again, if this didn't get them nowhere, it won't get them anywhere tomorrow. But if you get the chance to really find the thing that drives you and find inspiration, and you get to communicate this inspiration around you and find inspiration around you, that's what takes you far and reconnect you to your purpose and what you mean to be. And from this, you will get to find
That's great advice.
this way.
Yes. So I guess one more question, if you don't mind, just to wrap us up. Essentially, when people do work, they usually say that they can be connected to their job in two ways. So the first way is they're intrinsically motivated. So I think, much like yourself, you find a lot of joy in doing the role every day. Other people might work to, let's say, get enough money to buy a house and retire when they're 40. So that's more externally motivated. Do you think that either can work in building your career, or do you think, it always needs to start with what you're actually passionate about?
I think either can work if you find balance. I mean, if your goal is to have a house, have a good lifestyle, a good family and everything, cool, and you find the balance within the work and the work gets you there, good on you. Why not? But if that's not what you're aiming for, and your aim is to go career-wise and you really want to focus on that, and that gets you to some place that potentially will cut you from your friends or family.
Yes.
That's the risk as well. But if that's really what you want to do, just aim for it. Because at the end of the day, no one will get you to where you want to go but yourself.
Yeah. Also, I have one more thing, if you don't mind. A lot of people, when you ask them, who are you? Tell me about yourself. They always say, my name's, my age, and this is what I do. But, it's not always, your job is not always who you are. You're more than just your job. So my challenge to you is tell me about yourself, but don't mention anything about wine.
Oh, that's definitely a challenge.
Who are you?
I am a storyteller. I am a person that loves pushing boundaries and learning. I feel like I'm my own experience, actually. You
are your own experience.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm like, okay, right. I don't have any guinea pigs. I have just me. Yep. And how about and try out things. And I think that's I think I'm a good experimentation.
Experimenter. Yeah. Okay.
I like that.
Put that on the dating profile. Like, I'm an experimentation.
100%. I mean, this is what life is about, right?
Yes.
Just trying new things and pushing, exploring, showing courage, and looking at all the shit also that you've been carrying, and be like, okay, how about I do a bit of a clean up and
try something different.
Exactly.
That's great advice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us.
Appreciate it.
My pleasure.
That was an awesome podcast.
Yeah, meet you.
Nice to